Hi again folks, how's all doing? Well, what have I got here? This is an Electrotren 060 tank engine called Black Ajax or Black Ajax. It was sent to me by a chap called Phil. Never had an Electrotren model before, so always good to get a look at something new. Phil told me his late grandparents bought him this as a present, but it's now got a wee bit of an issue with the rods and cylinders. Now I'm not going to try and run this properly just to avoid any possible further damage, but let's just see if this runs or not. Turn on the power. Yes, it does. So we'll back it into the shed and we'll see what's up with it. Right then, an Electrotren. Not to look at one of these before. I think this is an HO scale model, although some websites do have it listed as 00, but no, I think it is HO. Electrotren is a Spanish company, I believe, but looking at the box for this, it was sold as what looks to have been an exclusive through Golden Valley Hobbies, which is a UK retailer, and Hornby seems to have had their fingers in this as well. So it's a Spanish model of what I take to be a UK locomotive, although I'm not 100% sure. Sold by a UK retailer in association with Hornby, but actually made in China. What could possibly go wrong? But I'm not entirely sure this is a UK locomotive. The Black Ajax that is in the UK has a box for coal at the back, and it doesn't have that. Yeah, and it just looks a little bit different than this. But whatever. So yeah, what is actually wrong with this? Well, as far as I can see, it's just this piston here. These guides for the piston, I don't know can't remember what the proper name is for them. They've become disconnected from this bracket here, and I mean that actually looks as if it'd still work okay, but it is quite bent. When you compare it to this one, it's all nice and straight, and the piston's nice and engaged, and you can see it's all connected up to that bracket. And this one, yeah, it's been a bit mangled. Phil's given me some spares for this, and interestingly they appear to be Hornby branded. We've got a motor, it's a Type 7 motor that must be in this, with its bracket, and we've got a replacement set of cylinders with those guide rails. So it could just be a case of swapping the cylinders with that spare part, and that would be job done. Let's open this up and we'll have a wee look. So we've got 4 screws. 2 of them are probably holding this plate on, and 2 will be holding the body on, I think. Let's undo this one. Yeah, that's quite a short one. I think that's probably holding the plate on. This is a longer one, so I think this will be a body screw. Yeah, and this is a longer one, I think, so I think that's a body screw as well. Yeah, it's all coming loose now. There we go. Oh, we're connected up with a wire. So the chip is mounted into the body at the front there. There's the Type 7 motor and the gears. Everything looks absolutely fine. So I think if we undo that screw, that'll allow the cylinders to come out, and we could fit the replacement. I think we could possibly straighten these up though. So I think, if at all possible, I'd like to keep the original part. So let's see if we can get these cylinders out. Yeah, they're glued on to that bracket. Dearie me, that's not very good. So these are actually glued on to this bracket. I think I'm going to have a go at that one's loose. So that one should be glued in. I'm going to have a go at straightening this and then gluing this back onto the bracket. And I think that'll repair it without the need for replacing any parts. Does this come out? There we go, it comes out. Makes things easier. Get these screws to the side. So you can see the DCC socket there. It's got a blanking plate fitted. Just turn the wheel to pull this piston back as far as it'll go. Just to disengage it, and then see if I can get the parallel pliers in there just to straighten that up. Just get that out, and then I can bend that up right there. Right, get that back in. Gauging that piston. Oh, come out. And move the piston forward again. Just screw that in again. That looks better. I'll give this a wee run. Right, I'll give this a wee run just to see what happens. Come on. Okay, this is actually the next day. I put all this back together and it seemed to run absolutely fine on the test track. No problem at all. But when I put it on the layout, it was a bit stumbly on points, and at one point on the layout it actually came to an abrupt stop, and on closer inspection I could see that there is a problem. And the problem is that this bracket at the bottom here is hitting the track. So on some points it was just catching there, and it's the same on that side. And if you look at this, just try and get that into a suitable picture, you can see that this is at an angle, and I think it should be like that. So I think I'm going to have to replace this bracket after all, and I might as well replace the cylinders, seeing as we've got them. Got the cylinders there, and we've got the bracket and the motor. I think the motor's fine, we won't have to replace the motor, just the bracket and the cylinders. I'm just wondering, just kind of speculating, if these aren't supposed to be glued, if they're maybe just supposed to kind of rest in the bracket there, and same on that side, but they've been glued in, and I wonder if the glue has reacted with the plastic and caused it to become misshapen, because I don't think it's broken. You know, I wonder if it had been broken and glued, but I don't think so. But we shall replace it. So what I thought was a quick easy job has turned into a little bit more, but hey ho. Right, so we'll undo the screw, and there's a little screw at the back here as well. We'll undo that. There's a couple of clips either side that I think we need to disengage. One there. Right, is this going to lift out now? Got to try and get this out, pull the pistons out. Gee whiz, this is not going to be easy. I have to take this front coupling off, I think. There we go. Yeah, that front coupling is a bit of a problem. Oh, of course the wires would go through it, wouldn't it? Try and get this front coupling off. There we go. Blimey. Get that coupling off. Right, can I get this motor out of here? Like so. Nope. And we're going to have to desolder the black and red wires on this to separate it from the bracket. Is the red wire off? And the black wire. Now we can get that bracket out. So we need to feed the red and black wires through there. And then we need to get that motor in position. Right, okay, this will be a bit of a fiddle to do, I think. Right, get the gear in. Right, hold it like that, so all the rods are dangling forwards. And then clip that in place. And that should be that, I think. The blue wire has just come off the motor. Right, so after a bit of finger wrestling, I've managed to get this bracket on. It's a really tricky thing to fit. You've got to thread through the rods, you've got the wires to deal with, and you've got clips either side of the motor that holds, the whole thing on. When you're fitting it, you kind of have to bend these parts of this bracket out. And I'm just wondering if that's what's happened. Whoever fitted this bracket, or if this bracket's been removed for some reason and then refitted, and whoever has done it has wrenched these outwards to fit them over the rods. I think if I was to do this again, I would take the rods off. That would be a much better way to do it. But anyway, it's on, so we'll worry about soldering the wires in a minute, but let's see if we can fit this. It's got to go in like that with these pistons. Again, this is going to be a fiddly thing to do. For quite a simple mechanism, it's not a good design. Right, so they will rest in there. And then on this side, they'll rest in there. Like that. Let's get that wee screw in to hold that in place. And of course I've forgotten about this NEM pocket. Right, just take this off again. That's got to fit on there. And then we'll refit this. Right, let's get that little screw in again. Right, I've probably edited a big chunk out there, but that took forever to fit those cylinders. I think that's it now. I mean, I had it done the first go, but I forgot to fit the name pocket. And you have to fit the name pocket. But there we go. That is it, assembled. Right, that's the blue wire back on. Now we're going to have to clean the solder out of these sockets. Yep. There we are, that's the solder removed. Okay, that's that soldered up. I think we'll attempt a wee test run on this. So I just want to make sure that this works correctly before I go any further. Yes, it does, that's fine. Right, I've fitted the rear coupling. I'm just going to plug this front one back in, if I can. Go. Righty ho. So that wants to go in there. Right, there we go. We're done. Right, let's give this a wee shot in the test track. It's pulling about 100 milliamps. So there we go, that's that sorted. That was a right fiddle. Okay, let's pull it out the shed. So there we go, that's this Electrotren black Ajax sorted for Phil. Yeah, initially I thought this just needed a wee bit of adjustment, but it turned out that that bracket that comprises the motor clip, the motion bracket, and a big part of the upper chassis needed replaced along with the cylinders. That bracket is biting off way more than it can chew. It should really be about 3 different parts, and as a result it's very tricky to remove and refit. A right tangle with the wires and rods and stuff. I should have removed the rods, so we'll know to do that if I ever have to work on another one of these. Not a bad wee model though, but could do with being a bit heavier. It's a little bit on the light side. If anyone knows about the real locomotive this is modelled on, please leave a comment, because I haven't a clue. Just to let you know, I'm going to be working on the layout for a bit soon, so repairs will be taking a bit of a back seat for a while, but we'll see what pops up in the post. But I need to get a lot of stuff done to the layout. It's been a bit neglected lately, so I'll keep you updated on all that at some point. Meantime, I shall get this packed up and sent back to Phil. Catch you later, folks.